Hey everyone! So in this video, I'm going to attempt to cover my acne story. I say attempt because there's so much, like it's such a it's literally a 10-year span that I've struggled with acne. So to cover everything that's happened in those 10 years is like, it's gonna be a long video no matter what. So I'm gonna try to keep this video as concise as possible. I haven't written really anything down. It's just all based off of memory. So I'm just gonna get right into it. The first time I remember I've experienced acne was in 5th grade because it was my yearbook picture. The picture day, it was picture day. And I had a giant zit on my chin, and I remember like this was 5th grade, you guys. So like kids don't get acne at this age. I think it was just like I didn't have acne. It was like a zit, but you know, anything of that nature is considered acne. So you could also call that acne. But I had this giant zit on my chin for the yearbook, and that's why I like know that that was my first experience with acne, because I think I still have the picture somewhere in my room. Big and red, and all my classmates were like, what is that? Like they had no idea even like what acne was or anything. I mean, I didn't either. I just kind of was like, oh, my mom was like, oh, it's not a big deal, it's a zit, whatever. So yeah, that was when it started. And then middle school, I remember like 7th, 8th grade, 6th grade, it was pretty under control, pretty fine. 7th and 8th grade were still pretty under control, but it still really bothered me. I started wearing makeup, I think in 7th grade to cover my acne, which is like, 7th grade is so young to be even worried about that stuff. So it was like, if you guys can even imagine like the stress that I was going through. And I remember that it was mainly just on my chin, and I would have some like around my mouth right here, like my upper lip. But yeah, it was mainly on my chin. I've had it all over, by the way. Like there has been times where I've literally had pimples just covering my entire face. But I've also had times where it was just on my chin, just on my cheeks, just on my forehead. Like it's been a weird thing. So that's why like I don't really know if I believe the whole face map theory. None of my friends were dealing with acne the way that I was, and I didn't really have anyone to relate to. So I think my freshman year was when I went to my first dermatologist, and he gave me like the typical different cream and antibiotics and stuff like that. And so I saw him for probably like 2 years, my freshman and sophomore years of high school. I was going to this dermatologist time after time, and each time either the product wasn't working or it would work for a couple weeks and then stop working, and my acne would just come back even worse. So he would give me different products, different antibiotics, different pills to take. Sometimes he would inject my, like, because at this time, I remember it was like towards the end of my sophomore year, and then my whole junior year was the worst it's ever been. But I remember specifically the second half of my sophomore year, all of my junior year. It was very cystic, it was painful, it was like fucking catastrophic, okay? So sometimes he would inject my cysts with a steroid to make them go down, and it would work, and I I would keep going in and getting these injections, and it would work, and um, that it would like make the cysts go down. But after I was going in to get those for quite some time, it just started getting worse and worse, and then I would have like, multiple cysts on my face at once, and it was bad. Going to this dermatologist for 2 years, and after 2 years, it wasn't working out, so I just said, I'm not gonna waste my time anymore with this, or waste my money. So I stopped seeing this dermatologist, and I didn't go to another one until my senior year when I started Accutane. Now, at this point in my life, like the end of my sophomore year, I stopped using any type of chemicals on my face or anything like that. And you guys, I have done so much research, especially during this time. I did so much research, so much reading on the internet, articles, YouTube videos, forums, just everything. I wanted to get to the bottom of what was happening. And that was how I found veganism and just like chemical-free living and natural lifestyle, stuff like that. Just these people weren't using these mass-produced products on themselves. They were just doing it simply, and their skin looked amazing. It was flawless, and I was like, well, this must be the holy grail, the end-all be-all here. So I stopped using like harsh chemicals on my face, and I went vegan and changed my whole lifestyle. I started working out, drinking more water, sleeping more. I did all of these things the end of my sophomore year. So the whole summer of 3 months, my skin like subsided pretty good, and yeah, my life was great. I was losing weight, I felt better, I looked better, everything like that. And then when school started back up, I didn't have as much time to exercise. I wasn't eating as well. My acne came back with a vengeance, and it was the worst it's ever been. Like I said before, I'll insert a picture right now. This was what my skin looked like my junior year, the worst it's ever been. If I had to describe my mental state during that time, it was like I had never experienced anything like it at that time. Like, obviously, it's been quite some time since my junior year of high school, and I've had my fair share of sadness and heartbreak and depression and all that good stuff. But you guys, I was so obsessed with it, and I centered my whole life around like the health of my skin. I was so scared of doing something that would cause my skin to break out even further, so I didn't stay up late. I didn't really hang out with people, but that was for a whole nother reason. I completely closed myself off from everyone. I was so depressed. I like isolated myself from my friends. I just I did not know what to do. I was so lost at that time. It was like an unexplainably sad feeling. I felt so bad for myself. And I was lost. I was so lost because I thought I was doing all these things right. I was doing everything that the internet was telling me to do, and it just kept getting worse. And my parents knew. They could tell. They could see a difference in me. I wasn't the same person that I was before. And they were like, we want to help. Like, not my dad, but my mom, she was like, we need to get you to another dermatologist, and I know a really good one here in the town that we live in. at first I was very apprehensive. I was like very against doctors at this point because I had had such a negative experience with the previous one because nothing that he was doing was working. So I was just kind of like, I mean, I'll try it, but I don't think it's really gonna work. So we go to see him, and he tells me, he takes one look at me and says, the only thing that is going to make your skin better is Accutane. And I had heard about Accutane, I think in a YouTube video or something like that, and it was basically just like heavily advising against it, saying like, whatever you do, do not do this, blah blah blah. I'd heard so much bad things about it. So immediately I was like, oh hell no, I don't want to go on it. I put it off for such a long time, and I was like, okay, well, let me just try these like couple different things before I think about going on this. So I tried like a couple of elimination diets and different types of weird home remedy stuff, all of which didn't work. You guys, when I say that I've tried everything, I've literally tried it. Like the weirdest things that you could even possibly think about doing, I've done to try to get clear skin, like the whole toothpaste thing, the apple cider vinegar, turmeric. I've tried that. I can't even think of like all the weird things that I've done. I was like, okay, give me the drugs. Went on Accutane. Had amazing results. I had some cystic things going on my first time going on it. And then my acne turned not cystic, but it was like to the same degree of severity, I would say, because even though it wasn't cystic, my whole face was covered in like these little tiny little thing. This was before my second round. Sorry if I'm like jumping all over the place. I'm really just trying to like keep my thoughts together, but I am also going to insert a picture of how my skin looked before I went on Accutane for the second time. The two pictures, the two before pictures are very different in their own ways, but also very similar, because I would say that they're the same severity, but just different types of acne. So, I was clear for, like, I'm pretty sure I cleared up, like, completely, entirely, my second month of first round. So I was clear for like 4 months on Accutane, and then 5 months afterwards. I started breaking out after 5 months of being off of it, and it started out very slow. I would just get like little tiny breakouts here and there. And it slowly progressed to the picture that I just showed you guys. It was that bad. So it slowly got to that point, and after that point, I was like, I cannot go on like this. Like, I can't. So now I'm on Accutane for the second time, and oh, and I forgot to mention, all of last summer, before I started my second round of Accutane, before the summer even started, it was May when I went to see this naturopathic doctor that I had found. She was 2.5 hours away from me. I drove there and had my consultation in May, and she really seemed like she knows what she was doing. She was very personable with me. Sat me down, asked me a lot of very specific questions about what I was doing, and just evaluating my lifestyle, diet, stuff like that. We had tests done to see what was going on internally. Like, everything that we did was the right thing to do. So I don't regret spending money on her, because I live in Michigan and naturopathic doctors don't accept insurance. That's just kind of like a law, I guess. I don't know, it's really dumb. So they're very expensive to go to, but yeah, I don't regret it, because I know that every step and every precaution that we took to in hopes to clear my skin was the right thing to do. I had hormone tests done, I had food allergy and sensitivity tests done, I made an Instagram post a while back of my whole drawer. I have a whole drawer of supplements that I was taking. I would take supplements for months, just like I would take one for a month, see if it did anything. No, okay, let's go to the next thing, see if it does anything. And they were all supplements that made very good sense for me to be taking. I researched them all myself, and also with her medical professional advice were the right thing to be taking, but she just couldn't save me. I did everything right. I did, you know, we did everything right, and nothing was working, and I didn't know why, and I didn't know. The biggest thing was just I did not know why. I was so lost. She was lost, and it was terrible. I was suffering very badly, like mentally, and I didn't know what else to do. I promised myself the first appointment in May. I said, you know, if this lady cannot help me and if I'm not clear by the fall, then I'm going on Accutane again. And I made that promise to myself, and I fulfilled it. So I'm not regretful of anything. I think that I had to do what I had to do to save myself. And that's what I did. You know, obviously I hoped that I didn't have to go back on it. I definitely didn't want to go back on it. And I wanted these natural things that I was doing, to natural supplements and herbs and stuff, to work. I wanted them to work so badly, and I believed that they were gonna work, and just any type of placebo that I could administer myself, I did, and I just thought positively the whole time, and it just wasn't working. And to describe to you the depth of the depression that was caused by my skin is like I can't even put it into words. I was so incredibly sad and lonely, and just I felt so bad for myself, and I hate feeling bad for myself, so it was bad. But I don't want to keep dwelling on that part of it, because I'm 100%, I feel so much better now that my skin is nice and clear, and I really hope that it stays that way. So yes, and for all my peeps with acne out there, you are not suffering alone. I know that it feels that way. I know that it does. I know everywhere you look, you see a bitch with like perfectly clear skin who's drinking alcohol and eating McDonald's and parties and shit, and she does not deserve that clear skin. But just remember that you will get through this. You will get through this. I know that you will. Okay, just first try to be natural. Ride it out. I know it's hard, but you are going to look back on these times and realize what a strong ass bitch you are, and I promise you'll come out even stronger. So hang in there. Talk to your doctor about Accutane if you're in the same position that I was, and yeah, everything is going to work out, and I hope that you all have a good day. Bye.